Boy, did I miss on this one. Now hold up, before we hop into how I whiffed so badly, let's set the tone. We are jumping into a conversation about the last 2 days of incredible and chaotic, and in some cases, very competitive NBA playoff games. There is simply no league that does the playoffs better than the NBA. By the end of this video, you should have an idea about the storylines that really matter and the takeaways that you simply can't ignore going into game 2. The Golden State Warriors are significantly better with Jimmy Butler. I actually thought it would be the nail in the coffin for their team when they acquired him. My take at the time was that he would be temperamental, bitter that he didn't get the contract from Miami, slightly annoyed that he'd have to leave beautiful Miami for San Francisco and Oakland, and would not be happy playing second fiddle to the other 2 Hall of Famers on the roster in Curry and Draymond Green. But I sorely was mistaken in what Draymond Green calls the asshole factor. Jimmy Butler is a certified asshole. And because of that, Draymond says it gives the team an edge that they haven't seen in a very long time, if not ever. This team is 23-7 since they acquired him. And if you watch that performance against the Houston Rockets, the dude played 42 minutes, and everything that he does on the court, similar to Draymond, is not going to be on the stat sheet. The dude put up 25, 7, and 6 and had 5 steals with a plus minus of plus 14. Those are some pretty good numbers, and yet he still adds an undeniable element to that team. And there's no doubt that he energized Steph to be playing at his absolute best. As far as I'm concerned, nobody stopping this Warriors team, except for maybe a little bit of their age and their fatigue. This is an extremely difficult matchup for any team moving forward, because yesterday what you saw was, on the Houston Rockets side of things, was a team that we knew could not shoot, going 6 for 29 from 3 and missing way too many shots at the rim. It turns out that the Warriors can play some defense too and are happy to let the bigs take their shots in the paint. However, they still shut down Sengun with only 4 points in the 4th quarter. This is a team that knows how to close games. This is a team that knows how to completely gut your will to win. I don't think we talk enough about playoff experience when it comes to these conversations. And right now, the Houston Rockets have more than an uphill battle to compete, not only with the skill, but the intangibles of the Golden State Warriors. The Los Angeles Clippers. Somehow it feels like we are always back in this same spot every year that Kawhi Leonard is on that team. Every time I watch a Clippers game, I wonder, how many times are we going to run this back before we realize that Kawhi Leonard is not the star to build around, especially at this point in his career? And as someone as critical as I have been of James Harden over the course of his career, that dude balled out. He is still one of the best historic isolation players that the game has ever seen, and he put that on display despite the foul trouble that he was in most of the game. It's clear that he's their leader. He's got no ego. He's a distributor, and it still looks like the guy has his legs under him, unlike what we saw when he first got to Philly. You had a feeling watching this one that although the Nuggets were getting hammered in the first half, that Denver still had an opportunity to hang around because they kept the game within about 5 points at that point and ultimately never looked back. The Clippers gave up 29 points off of turnovers. The Nuggets are gritty, versatile, but the story that comes to the forefront in this one is not about the tired and played out Clippers roster that we've seen run back too many times, but more so, what does it look like when a superstar in Nikola Jokic, when he has to carry the team for more than just one championship season? We've seen guys like Steph and Bron do this for a decade, if not more. And unfortunately, having guys like Russell Westbrook, who has lacked self-awareness for at least 5 years at this point. Unfortunately, Westbrook is not going to take you to the promised land, and neither is sitting Michael Porter Jr. when he is a vital part of their championship DNA. Ultimately, I am picking the Denver Nuggets to come out on top in this series, probably going 6 or 7 games, but with how gassed they looked after this weekend's overtime win, I'm not sure that they'll have enough gas in the tank to really do much of anything deep into the playoffs. And for the Los Angeles Lakers, we saw what a LeBron-less Lakers organization and offense looks like in that first half, because he virtually disappeared, completely defaulting to Luka. No clue if that has to do with fatigue or just figuratively passing the torch, which I wouldn't recommend doing in a playoff series with a team led by Anthony Edwards, who is looking to snatch your soul at every opportunity. Doncic started off incredible, and I can understand a little bit of the rationale to kick it over to him if you're James, but LA is going to need significantly more engagement from LeBron, and it turns out a lot of this game was about rebounding. At one point, they nearly led by up to 30 points, and after snagging the ball, always seemed to make the right pass to dudes like Naz Reid, who is absolutely prolific from 3. The Lakers don't have much margin for error here. Anthony Edwards is an absolute dog, and he will make you pay if you slip up just a little bit. Watching his game and his evolution is the storyline and headline from this one. He has such a beautiful 3-point shot. He's got a ton of self-awareness, a ton of spatial awareness. This is not a guy who plays hero ball, and this is why I think he has the best case for being the next face of the NBA, whether he wants it or not, because his game is completely unapologetic and it's undeniable. Americans love a smooth and fluid basketball player that barks in people's faces and doesn't give a shit about what anybody on or off the court thinks of him. Ant is a certified killer, and I have been loving watching every single second of it. Well, the New York Knicks are no longer the new kids on the block, the inexperienced guys who haven't been there before, and they've now turned the tables and put the Detroit Pistons in that position. For most of that game, it looked like Detroit was going to be able to will their way to a pretty decisive victory over the New York Knicks, who at times looked flat. Jalen Brunson didn't have his same level of intensity that you come to expect from him, especially in the playoffs, but they kicked it into overdrive. They kicked it into high gear in that fourth quarter. And this is what I will tell you comes down to every single time in these playoffs, both in the NBA and the NFL. The older, more experienced teams relax into the game, whereas teams like Detroit feel as though they have something to prove and want to show the world why they deserve to be there, especially after such a rapid turnaround. There's no doubt that they deserve to be there, but will they need an entire series to settle in and feel that security within themselves? Because this team is pesky. Cade Cunningham is pretty unwavering, even with double teams. I'm sure that this is the first time a lot of America had watched the Detroit Pistons, and they put on a pretty good game. But with the size and Mitchell Robinson being healthy and back, as well as Cat's offensive game, which is second to none, especially for a big, this team will be a hard out. And it'll be interesting to see how they match up with a team like the Cavs or the Boston Celtics in a 7-game series. Can I just say one thing about the absolute domination by the OKC Thunder? Some people are saying this is one of the best teams that the NBA has ever put together. Now, I'll pause on making such grandiose statements before this team even makes it out of the first round of the playoffs. But can we talk about Sam Presti for a moment? Mr. Scared Money Don't Make None Presti. It's not enough to just acquire a bunch of draft picks. I don't want to say anyone can do it, but if I can do it on 2K, people can do it in the real world. Draft picks, they provide a lot of false security, and it ties fans and ownership over in the present so that they can think of what will be. But For Presti to put together a team in such a way with essentially no flaws and the league's MVP, there's no reason that he shouldn't win GM of the year every single year. This is an absolute masterclass. These are players that want it, and it may be a case counter to my point throughout the entire video that maybe young and inexperienced can actually give folks in the West a run for their money. With their youth, it's hard to believe that it won't be all gas and no brakes. As always, appreciate you stopping by. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. I'm having so much fun, and I want you to join along in the fun. Drop a comment, hit the notification bell, whatever you can do so we can stay in each other's lives. I look forward to it. Let me know what you want to hear, what you want to see next. I welcome it, and let's keep breaking down each game of the playoffs with the key and quintessential storylines so that we can cut through the noise about some of the things other traditional media outlets do not talk about. I will see you next time.